Welcome back to Grandshelt Nights. I'm here with Xer0 and Kuja.
Hello?
I am
Hello.
Awesomeade, and we are going to be talking about the new content that has come to FFBE, which is, of course, the brothers, the Figaro brothers, and the Awakenings, as well as the new uh, trial for the week and the event.
The
Um,
Ability Awakenings.
I already said the Ability Awakenings.
And
Whatever.
I think the trial is it is it a
It's not
king
a
mod?
trial.
No, it's
You
a
can't be
raid.
considered a trial.
What is it? It's a raid,
It's
the
a
raid trial.
auto attacking.
Yeah, it's a raid trial.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah,
Nagi
it's
Yigo
really
trial.
it's really
Okay.
an auto attacking fight.
All
Don't
right.
let them lie to you.
Oh,
Hey,
and you need to also mention the summon the summon coin things.
yeah, that's the etc. stuff. We'll do that at the end
Okay.
because
Cool.
I'm very disappointed in that.
I don't
Okay,
Uh,
care,
well,
it's
we'll talk
extra.
about that when we get to it.
yeah. Anyways, let's start off with Sabin, Monk Sabin of Colts or Colts. Yeah, it's Colts. Kuja, do you want to give a brief?
Yeah, so he's a physical attacker. He's a monk, so he's a fist
Wow.
user.
Way
Hey, it's right
to
there.
hype him up, man.
Yeah. So, his TMR is 60% attack with a coin equivalent with fist, and like auto HP heal every turn. It's pretty solid at 60 attack if you're wearing a fist. It's better with true dual units because you can put two weapons in. 60% is a pretty high stat, so it's actually a pretty solid TMR. His STMR, on the other hand, is
Baller.
fantastic. Fantastic. It's 55 attack accessory with an ability called Training Pays Off, which gives you 30% HP and 60% attack when equipped with a fist. It's pretty much his TMR with extra stuff.
So, can you tell me which other units could benefit from this, Kuja?
Anybody that uses a fist?
So we got
What about a
Tifa.
certain? What about a certain unit who gets true double hand like he does?
Oh yeah, you mean Lila, who doesn't use attack.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, she
use
does.
She's
that.
garbage with attack.
No, she's not.
With spirit, so it doesn't matter. Dude, she's bad. I don't know why you guys think she's good.
I get 2,200 attack with her if I build her attack, so she's not bad at all.
2,200 attack. Wow.
Anyways, let's get back to Sabin. Let's get back to Sabin, please. Jeez.
Okay.
Um, so Sabin is a damage dealer, of course, and he's actually pretty decent. The big problem he has is the fact that he came out after Esther and Axstar / Zeno.
Right. Which makes him. I mean, he's better than what we had before, but he's not better than those three.
Yeah. His biggest issues, in my opinion, are the fact that he's got Stardust Ray chaining and, well, he has Absolute Mirror of Equity, but his better skills are his Stardust Ray, in my opinion, because they're elemental and give him more versatility that way.
Yep.
He can add water and fire elements to him, so that does make him more versatile.
With the absolute mirror of equity chaining, since he can imbue those are pretty much his go-to skill if you're going to chain with anybody at the moment in the game.
Yep. He does have more skills in that because he does have like Phantom Rush and Meteor Strike, but those are kind of okay. The Phantom Rush, which is his AT chaining skill, is probably his best option when it comes to that stuff. His cooldowns, I mean,
Triple casting.
They add extra modifiers to a lot of his attacks. There's his 110 Undying Spirit gives him extra a buff, and it hurts him for 81% damage, but that'll activate his passive that makes his LB really strong, so
Well,
you know
it
that's
doesn't make his
I don't-
LB really strong. It makes it immediately come into effect. It's basically how Ong has the ability to make his LB just be there.
Right, no, but it upgrades his LB too. It upgrades the damage on his LB.
Where does it say that?
I believe that's what it was. I remember seeing that.
Nice. I believe grade B.
Because in Undying Spirit, it says HP, damage 81%, increased attack for 5 turns, 250, increased LB gauge, and auto revive.
Yeah, but he supposedly has. I thought he had a passive that when he is below 20% HP, it does. Yeah.
Oh,
yes, so
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Omniferous, well, whatever. Untiring efforts, whatever.
Yeah,
Increase.
It's
Yeah.
passive. It's passive, yeah.
Yeah, upgrade
one.
LB for 2 turns and HP drops below 20%.
He has to drop his HP below 20% so that he can do a much better LB.
Yes.
And the same goes for his brother, I believe.
A 70 times modifier is way better.
Yeah. It's literally twice the damage. Well, not twice the damage. It's a little bit less, but still, it's pretty crazy. And it basically gives you
enables triple blitz for 5 turns.
5 turns. So
It is not
It's
chainable even with a dupe, though. Just a heads up.
52 hits. Wow.
It's not chainable with a dupe. Its chaining frames are bad. They're similar to like Seaton, where it's a bunch of hits, but they don't like you can't really chain 2 of them together. There's so many pauses. So he'll do a few, and there'll be a pause. There'll be a few, there'll be a pause. So he does suffer from that a little bit, but still, a 70 times modifier. Yeah.
Yep. So far, what I can see, like based on cooldown, that was the first cooldown that we. The second one does available on turn 3 does physical damage 3 times with like a 6 times modifier, but it does it 5 times over and over, which is just 5 hits. I guess 5 finishers.
Yeah, I would say it's like 5 finishers.
Yeah, just 5 consecutive finishers, which is, like, yes, if you're chaining, you want to finish it, you can do it, but it's like not really that significant of a
Hey,
I think.
It could be nice with dual cast Areola, right?
I don't know. Does
Yeah.
it fit in that though? I don't know.
No, well, it may not break it because it's just 5 individual hits.
Well, I think he
No,
says
what I'm
fit in
saying-
it, like get all 5 hits within the Areola chain. Probably.
Yeah.
Alright, and the next one that he has is also really important. That basically reduces his damage, his HP, so he can get the LB up.
Oh no, that's the first one he talked about. That's the
all
first
I'm
one he
talking
talked about. Yeah. We didn't
Yeah,
talk
the
about
other
the
one-
heal.
The other one gives himself triple cast and increases
And-
modifiers for.
Yeah, so
It's fine. It's just he's
but-
similar to Axstar in that you need to buff his own abilities by doing other moves.
yeah, so the
it's
thing
fine.
is, right? The thing
It's
is,
just
if you look at his rotation about how you're gonna use it, right? He's gonna want to do his LB, and he's also gonna do, like, let's say you might do the Undying Spirit cooldown on the first turn, then you might do the other cooldown on the next turn to get your mods up, then do his LB, and then you can go ham doing the other skills.
See,
you
I
know?
disagree with that. I think that's more for in my opinion, for either healing if you don't have a healer, or curing a break on him. I think that's more the benefit to it. I mean, yes, the modifiers are nice, but since you can't use it, I guess you can use it every other turn.
Yeah, so even if you use this one, like if you ignore that one, you still would want the modifiers because the LB unlocks triple casting for 3 turns, which means you're going to be doing, his rush, his rush move. So you want the mods on that. So you would want to use 2 of these cooldowns at some, to maximize damage, basically.
We also get the 2 times modifier to the 2 elemental skills as well, the Rising Gale and Rising Phoenix or Razor Gale and Rising Phoenix. I mean,
Yep.
I'm just disappointed because he's basically the first unit with Stardust that we care about, so it kind of hurts him in my opinion.
Well, he doesn't have anybody to really chain with.
Yeah.
No.
Well, his AT chains are fine.
Yeah,
The modifiers
I
are
mean,
just a little bit low in my opinion. So you're just he's basically just an LB damager. But
well,
since
he's like again, like I was saying before, he's like Axstar. You have to do all his other abilities to buff his abilities so that they actually do damage. He's also true double hand. He's not true dual wield. So, and
you have to wait for
problem with
Aigion
him-
Kai.
Yeah, there's no two-handed fist that's good.
Well, one thing about Stardust Ray is the chaining frames are 110, 10, 10, 10, 10. Right? And the only other people I know that has 10, 10, 10, 10 frames are, a unit that you wouldn't use, like Folan, or, I don't know, a unit that was enhanced recently called Lila. Her attack is 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. So she possibly could chain pretty well. Just saying.
You would definitely need a macro for that though. I don't like to rely on macros for that kind of stuff too much.
The 10-10 frames are actually pretty easy, and take a look at the chaining frame.
It's the
chaining for
110
Stardust.
part though that's gonna kill you. The 110, the initial frame.
Yeah, it's just starting.
The
but
delay
it's
is
easy.
bad. Okay.
Yeah, but it's a static move. On
And
her
doesn't
part.
Lila still move when she chains?
No, not that attack. That
No,
attack
that's
does
her
not.
physical attack, yeah. Well, the other problem is the fact that it's going to break every time in between the things because this is a very long frame delay in the beginning. So he's going to do it, and then there's going to be a pause, and then he's going to do it again. So it's more likely to break in between the two chains.
Yeah, why? Anyway, continue. Let's go.
All right, anyways. Do you think he's worth pulling for? Is probably just the best option. I mean, because he
No.
has good modifiers. He's got decent attacks.
No, he's not worth pulling for.
I think
Not
he
right
is.
now.
I
He
think
doesn't have he doesn't have the equipment to be worth it.
He doesn't suplex
Yeah.
a train.
Well,
he doesn't.
Sure.
The thing is, right? His rotation does, in my opinion, suffer a little bit with the meta that we have now, because you have to basically build him up, which is not bad, and he does significant damage on his LB, and he's gonna do significant damage on every turn after that. So once you build him up, he's pretty strong. But would you need him now? Maybe if you don't have Xer0, sure, but he's not gonna do anything amazing. For you.
So my
He
biggest,
doesn't really have stuff.
so I love Sabin
It's-
because the game I like Final Fantasy VI, but the problem with him is he has no real partner.
right.
Yeah.
His rotation is different than everyone else's because, like for example, Axstar, his rotation includes attacks. His rotation includes passives like meditation, flaming soul, or meditation, flow soul, and then breathing techniques or undying spirit. Those are all non-attacking abilities to improve attacking abilities. So you're having to take time off to build up your character. You can't build your character while doing damage like you can with Axstar.
Yep.
And he's
I
the
mean,
person that matches him closest.
his
With,
equipment hurts him also. Like he needs a fist weapon, a high attack fist weapon that's two-handed, which is none. So,
yeah, but you can still do double hand. It's not terrible.
yeah, but he loses a ton of damage with the variants.
Yeah, about 30%.
It's a lot of damage to lose.
Not gonna argue that. I'm just saying that to me that doesn't really make or break a unit if you like the unit. It's how well he works with other units. That's where I factor him in better. But anyways, it's a nay for me if you don't love Final Fantasy VI. And I think Zero said the same thing.
Yeah.
it's a-
One thing I think that's also unique about, well, not just him, but monks in general, is usually have the ability to scale, like use spirit as well. And in his case, he does have like a healing move, which is a good supplement if you don't have like a healer. But
Yeah, but that's all stuff that's in every monk's kit. Like,
I know. I'm saying that for a monk to take advantage, I'm saying that this is not really that good of passive on the spirit side, for him, right? The one thing that he does have is he does get himself to fix damage with spirals. He can take all of his HP down except one. If you can cure him back immediately, he can basically get himself up back. For if you don't have your undying spirit cooldown, you can use it.
Yeah, but
because that's a 10 turn cooldown. So,
yeah, but the only thing you have to heal him back up pretty much is like if you don't have a healer that's like a regular healer, you're stuck with someone like Zargaboth. That's the only way this would actually be really useful. A single target healer that does. So I don't really consider it that great. The chakra is a better option, but his spirit's pretty low, so he's a backup at the best. At the most, is just a backup.
Okay.
All right.
I think we can move on.
Yep, King Edgar. His brother. The guy who haunted me in JP.
I think his TMR and STMR are very good.
Well, his TMR is okay. 40% attack and machine killer with 20% MP. It's okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a killer on an attack where you're not losing anything for the killer ability.
His STMR is awesome, though, in my opinion.
Yep. It's better than Sabin's.
It's more useful than Sabin's because it's more versatile. But I wouldn't know if you'd call it better. It's just more versatile. Like 50 attack is really good. All status helmet. So 50 attack ribbon with LB fill rate. How can you pass up on that?
Yep. It's good for anybody. Basically any attack.
Any physical attacker this is fantastic for.
Yep. You want them immune, and you just want them to build up their LB. Very good for if you're putting it like if you have Esther. Really nice for her as well. Really nice for Xeno. Anybody.
Alright, now to his moveset.
He's a breaker.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of his moves are bad. There's so many bad moves in his kit. Auto crossbow. What?
Does this chain with anything?
Auto crossbow? No. It's a 5-hit combo, and then there's a delay for one turn. It hits everyone for 15 hits.
Okay.
So you can't time it either. It's a non-timeable skill. Then there's his Rejuvenator 1, which 40 MP is weak nowadays. That's like nothing. And 3 LB crystals. Well, 3 LB crystals are nice. Flash, blind is not good. This light resistance debuff is 50%. That's in the who cares department nowadays.
I think you're complaining about his you're complaining about his 5-star abilities, which no one ever uses.
Well, the thing is even when you get down to his 6-star abilities, they're not that good. The only one you have is his cooldowns at 7-star. A single target break for 74%. Single target, so okay. A decent physical damage, it's aerial array, but it hurts him like drastically. And it starts on turn 4, so you have to wait for 4 turns to use it. And then you have this one that basically gives you LB fill rate, increased damage against machines, and then allows you to do these specific moves, which yeah, there's decent ones. He's basically like Kryla. You have to unlock his decent breaks.
Yeah, the only thing is that's a 20-turn cooldown, which makes that kind of
annoying.
Yeah. It's not strong enough to be 20 turns on cooldown.
And it's only up for 6 turns too, so that means there's a lot of turns you just cannot attack with.
Yeah, but it's not gonna matter because ultimately his LB is cheap.
True.
So,
But
you're going to be using that all the time, and that's the thing.
But the problem with his LB is the fact that it's the degrading unless you get it the upgraded version. Which, how do you get the upgraded
Right.
version again?
Same thing when he's under 20% health. It gives him the...
But how long does it last when he drops that under that 20% health?
2 turns.
Yeah, so you basically have to kill him every 2 turns to get the good debuff.
Yeah. That might just happen anyway.
He does have, like, you know, abilities to reduce water and earth quite a bit, resistances and
Yeah,
fails
those-
to enemy.
Those are okay, yeah, but they come
The
with
the problem is they don't do any damage. They just decrease. Right.
Well, the only
So
one
he-
that's the one that's decent is the one that's right here, but the problem is it's every 2 turns every other turn he gets a 70% break. And that's not good because it's a 1-turn break.
Okay, so based on his skills, even his passives as well, he seems like one of the units that are, I would say, is suffering from what I would say like Gumi usually does with making a unit broken to fix them later. Like he potentially has stuff that can work, but he's purposely not good in his current.
Well,
you know, he could be potentially pretty good.
he could be very good, but his
He's
biggest
fine.
problem is the fact that the 20% drop in HP doesn't last long enough. If it was every
Yep.
4 turns or 5 turns, then it would be viable, because then it'd be a lot easier to actually use the Royal Shock to get his HP down. So every 4 turns, he has it up. That just means you have an issue with the first 4 turns, which, of course, the first 3 turns, bravo, Figaro will get it there in the first place.
Yeah.
So you just have to time another break fine, or maybe have a second breaker at least. But he's extremely hard to keep the break up without
maintain it. Yeah.
without like having a second
Yes.
breaker.
Mm-hmm.
His breaks are good. I mean, he's got one of the best breaks for single target in the game.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
but
I mean,
he has
AoE
to.
too. I mean, his LB's AoE.
Yeah, the LB for
Right.
AoE. Yeah, that it's freaking fantastic. It's just
But he does have to decrease his HP to do it too.
it's
right?
only 2 turns.
Well, no. I mean, he doesn't. I mean, he can. But the thing is, it degrades. But as long as it's only 30 LB crystals. You can get that in 2 turns. There's no different than Lid. And she's got what? Hers is 79%, right?
Yeah, but it's his upgraded LB I'm talking about. His
Yeah,
upgraded
his
LB.
upgraded is 84 and it doesn't degrade. But it degrades from 84 to 74, which is still the same as like in Lauren or Tubi or any of the other breakers, except for Lid, who has 79%.
That's
So you're
true.
gonna have so
Okay.
it's still a great break, and it's the highest one we have right now.
Yeah, it's probably better than like if you're using somebody like Lid, it's definitely a better version of what she
I
can
mean,
do.
I'm
the
just
way I
talking
look
about
at
the
him-
issue of getting. You're just talking about
You can-
basically making an LB whore. I'm not. I was
Yeah,
talking about
That's,
finding
that's
a.
what he is.
Yeah.
That's what he is. Honestly, that's what he is. He's a LB whore, and you're gonna build him with a ton of LB fill, LB crystals per turn, and
Just
you're gonna
burst it
wanna
on.
Yeah, I
start
was.
off by doing his cooldown that does single target break, because again,
That's all he has at the beginning.
right? Because I mean, I guess if you really need to, you can do his air anchor to 2 people. Oh, that's not even that good. It's next turn.
No, it has to be second turn, so it's already
Yeah,
in a bad
So
spot.
you need, I mean, again,
He's
there's no
bad in the
ton-
beginning. He's bad in the beginning. The first
Yeah.
turn, he is very bad.
He definitely
He's
seems
not
like
bad if you're going up against one enemy. If you're going up against
Okay,
multiple,
yeah, you're right.
he seems like a breaker that you would use if you have an enemy that is weak against water and earth, and that's basically it. Compared to
No,
any other
no.
break.
He's a very good breaker. his problem is he can only really be used, as of right now, he can only be used against single targets.
Because of his the first cooldown is 1-to-1 enemy.
Right, because it's only one target. If you're going up on a fight that has multiple targets,
He
on
falls
the first
off
turn,
hard.
He's not gonna cut it because you need that AoE break. But if you can get past that first turn,
He's probably the
you'll
best
pretty much
breaker
be
in the
able to
game
spam
right
his
now.
LB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll be able to spam it enough to get the decent breaks, which is the 84 and the 74% when fully updated.
And even at 6-star, his breaks are still very good. They're like
74 and
CG level.
64,
Yeah.
or 79 and 69. I mean,
And even if you go and the break degrades to the 64%, that's still not terrible.
it's not terrible. I would use a different breaker though at that point because I have so many options. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but with how low his LB is, if you are able to get enough LB fill rate and because you don't forget, I like say CG Lid's LB only lasts 2 turns, and
Yeah, but
how
she
often do
has
you
a
have problem with it?
she has a crap ton of LB fill rate in her kit.
Yep.
His is about half hers.
She's made to spam.
His is about half her LB fill rate. Not to mention her passives give her LB fill rate. Her TMR gives her LB fill rate. Yeah, she's just. Well, yeah, you'd build him LB fill rate too. Yeah.
You'd build him for LB fill rate, so it wouldn't matter. Like again, because we just had
Lust dagger,
dagger.
and
yeah,
he
but,
can use
okay,
daggers.
So he's
Yeah, you can use dagger.
right. So I'm thinking about him as the exact same, like a version. Like for instance, Lid can't break AOE. Well, strong AOE as well. Because her cooldown is also single target. So he suffers the same thing. But the only preference you would have for using him is 1, he has a stronger break. 2, if you also are going up an enemy who you can definitely reduce water and earth, right?
Yeah.
Because immediately when he does this cooldown, he has a LB fill rate of 300, which means you're gonna get it back up.
Yeah, I really couldn't care less right now because water and earth are like the worst. We have the worst weapons for water and earth, and we also have the worst skills for water and earth for the most part.
Well,
I mean, but he's saying it's there. I mean, it's there.
It's an option,
It's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah, and if you're carrying his brother, right, who has water, it's fine, and he also carries
That is true.
Stardust. He also is a Stardust chainer like his brother, so if you're carrying his brother, he's honestly the better break.
I mean, Edgar is by far the best unit on this banner, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's a very, very good breaker. And he just gets better when serious boss battles come out, and eventually when he'll get even better when his enhancements come out, which they haven't in JP, I believe. So.
The only thing I will say is he's really hard to use to carry.
Oh, you mean like taken for the event? Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're building him to carry, you have to really pay attention to what skills you use because a lot of his skills don't do great damage. Their modifiers are pretty pitiful. The only skill I think that is decent is probably yeah. No. Yeah,
Well,
chainsaw. Yeah.
You're not going to be able to do his areola rage unit.
Well, no, I was thinking of Flash, because chainsaw is single target. But yeah, it is a single target at the end though, so it's not bad.
Yeah, but you could probably build even a 6-star Sabin, or have someone like just take a Sabin friend.
Well, yeah, but I don't have any Sabin friends. I don't think this is a popular banner right now.
No, because I mean, especially with the limited banner that they teased us with.
In my opinion, they're too old right now to be that like desirable anymore.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, I have most of them, so.
Well, it
I
might not
would-
be desirable for you, but I'm just saying, like, even if you look at the characters, the only characters that kind of held their weight were the tanks.
Yep.
Anyways, I give him a
So we
passing
need-
grade, but I'm still kind of reluctant to say this guy's super pullable.
If you don't have a breaker, absolutely he is. But if you have a breaker, you probably don't need him.
I don't know. I think they're better
He's very
breakers.
good. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know. Are there better breakers? Like, who would be better?
He is the best breaker we have in the game,
Yeah, pure breaker. Yeah.
even though he's basically a, you know, a replacement for Lid in that respect, because Lid doesn't do anything but break, so he's basically a Lid replacement, you know?
Anyways, let's start talking about the current event that they are getting bonuses from. Figaro Castle. I mean, it's a Mod King event.
Yeah.
And-
it's like an event. They just the only thing that's different is they added event points.
I like the event points.
It's fine. The only I just don't. I'd rather be able to buy the 5-star ticket.
I knew you'd say that.
Told
So
you.
here-
I like
here-
getting it quickly because if you use it and you get one of the bonus units, you can use them longer. This
So
way,
here's-
like the way it is
here's
right
the
now,
weird-
it's gonna take 5 days to get it, and then at that time you might be done.
Yep. Well, I
So-
think is the event points going to replace the daily thing that
Yes,
we
it
got
replaces the
before?
daily, yeah.
Right, because I'm saying the grind that you basically from doing this event, it's giving you the same amount back in the currency. The in this case walnut, they're giving you the walnuts that you need to get whatever you want. So
Sort of.
Well, the biggest benefit to the event points is you can literally have no bonus units and still get a decent amount of coin.
yep.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter what bonus you
Great,
get, you get. Well, yeah. I mean, when I say decent, I mean like I think you can get like 60,000 credits in the end, but it's not really worth 60,000 just from the EP points. Anyways, anything in here that stands out to you being really worth getting for the Mod King?
The crown is good. The crown is
Shield's not
good.
bad.
If the shield is basically replacing the thunder shield from the story, which lowers your water resistance, while this one does not. So it's a better version of thunder shield.
Gives you Thundaga too.
Gives you
A mage using a heavy shield though, or a light shield, kind of.
that
yeah.
would be amazing.
Doesn't have to be a mage. Anybody.
Well, Thundaga is gonna suffer from having no magic. But anyways, the
Oh,
Royal
yeah,
Crown,
perfect.
28 defense, 35 spirit, and 10% attack, MP, and magic. Yeah,
Nah.
it's okay. If you're new and you don't have a good hat, it's worth getting. But if you're mid tier at all, pass. It's 15,000. It's just not really worth it, in my opinion.
Then double hand might be useful for someone to pick up if they're new. Yeah, I mean,
Hey, if you have an Esther and you don't have double hand, there you go. Now she's 300% double hand.
yeah.
Fraternal
not-
Power Wisdom. I mean,
Nah, these are bad.
newbies only.
If you started yesterday, maybe they're good.
They're fine for a while, actually. You have to get to like the 4th island or 5th island before they get kind of beat out.
Yep.
Um,
Trust moguls, definitely buy the ones that you
The cheap
can.
ones. Yeah.
Buy the ones
Golbez's
that you can.
TM's not good. Edge's TM's not good. Russell's TM is not good. Seven's TM is good.
That
Edgar's
doesn't
TM
matter.
is good.
The reason why that doesn't matter is because you can exchange them for trust coins. So yes, I would still buy them because they are cheap, even
Well,
if their TMs are bad.
If they're new players, I wouldn't like really care that much about them. I'd just focus on other things. I'm just saying that they're just the ones that are good are the
No,
4-star
I-
ones.
I mean, I agree. All these TMs are pretty terrible, but, except for sevens.
7 and Dash is good.
Isn't Edgar a 3-star unit?
I
though?
thought Edgar was a 3-star unit. Yeah, I think this might be wrong. I'd have,
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
I'd have to look in the game. I don't have it up right
Unless
now.
there's another Edgar in there.
Yeah, I don't remember there being another
Listen,
Edgar.
a 4, and a 5-star Edgar. They're really trying to get Edgar some.
Some love.
Well, anyways, if you look below, we have the typical thing, but you do see that we get event points, and those are static. So probably the most efficient, if you can, is running legendary for the event coins or event points.
Yep, 400 event points.
Don't use Earth in this event, I guess. Is probably the only thing I would say.
Yeah, it is. It's right.
But yeah,
Machine Killer.
this is why I thought. This is why I remember. What's his name not being that great for this event. You cannot break the boss thing here. So.
It's pointless.
Yeah. That's why I
Kinda
remember it
pointless.
being kind of a pain. But yeah. And then when it comes to other stuff, I mean, it's just the normal recommendations. Don't buy as many tickets as you can. 10% Moogle's good.
All that stuff.
The OC. Yeah.
There's nothing really special about this one. It's,
Except for the fact that EP points come out.
hmm
red. That's,
Oh, that would
that just
mean,
makes it
right?
different.
Yeah, so by playing the game every day with by just playing the game, playing the event, Figaro Castle, using your energy, you don't have to use pots, you don't have to use refills, but you will obtain your 5-star ticket in about 5 days, and you'll then finish the event points, all the rewards from the event points in about 10 plus days, a little bit over 10 days. All right, so don't have to worry about, you don't even need units to get that, but you can, like, if you don't care about anything and you just want to get specific things, if you can get the event points, enough currency to get what you need, you don't even have to have bonus units at all if you don't
but
want to.
you're likely going to, because the cheaper bonus units have been around a long time, so
That is
chances are
true.
you'll have
Some.
Yep.
Celis or Setzer. Yeah.
So I did check. It is Machine Killer, which is Edgar's TM, but he is a 3-star, so that's an expensive 3-star Moogle.
Yeah, but it's one of the ones that's worth it. So.
It's actually a good one, yeah, because Machine Killer has been good for a while. So anyways, let's go to the Magitech Ruins, since that's our current thing. It's worth doing because the Marlboro doll is a good hat.
Yep. And you can fart on this boss and it'll die.
He can kill you pretty easily if you aren't well built
Yes, but
for it.
You can kill it pretty easily. It's vulnerable to all breaks.
It's a machine.
The only thing that you have to do is kill the base before you kill the crystal.
Yep.
So
Which is easy to do since it's got half the HP pretty much. But yeah.
And it's only got 4 million HP. That's nothing. 2 chainers will destroy that.
But yeah, if you're having issues, it pretty much just needs a good, decent magic tank that covers fire, ice, and wind, and lightning, and you're good.
Yeah, and I'm actually pretty sure that a friend Esther could solo this by themselves.
Yep, probably. But not everybody has a good friend Esther yet, so that's why I was saying, if you have a good friend,
Yeah,
you can
but
kill it,
you'll
you can
find
kill it, but
There's plenty of places you can go find one.
but yeah. The Marlboro doll gives okay stats, and it has 50% status elements. Works good with characters that already have 50% in their kits, like Wilhelm. And you can also match it with King's Armor, which has all 50% status elements and 20% to all elemental resistances. So,
Yep.
it's a good hat.
And also don't forget, like a Lich in the future who's gonna imperil your status ailment. So having more than 50 or more than 100, having over 100 is pretty good.
All right. So now we go with Ability Awakenings, which happened this Wednesday. We got a few units. Let's start with Sephiroth. I mean, I
Who
wouldn't
wants to take that off?
I wouldn't use his LB anymore. He's basically a bargain Axstar, right? Is that what you call him?
Yeah, but he's got the best ones out of all of them by like leaps and bounds.
Well, I disagree, but that's because I like one of the other units. But yeah, he's a good unit. But again, he's basically like the cheap Axstar, and he suffers from one of his biggest things, which is single-handed katanas.
Yep. Well, he is a double hand unit sense. Not necessarily true double hand, but he does have all the passives that makes him a strong double hander. He's not and Sephiroth in the past he is as well. He is not the best at what he does. He is meant to be a person to use when you need a chainer. All right, he can chain with so many families, and he's strong. He's just not the best in any of them.
Well, my biggest problem is right now, Onion Slice is a weak family now because they didn't really expand on it. I hate Quick Hit, so you're stuck with pretty much Divine Ruination, Octaslash, and AT.
Yep, which is
Yep,
still pretty
and-
good families.
It's still good
And
families.
Octaslash requires his TM, I believe.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you're gonna want to use his TM because even, you know.
I mean, if you have
TMR
an
ability
Axstar STMR, you're gonna use Axstar over Sephiroth. It's as simple as that. The only real big benefit he has is the fact that he can imbue himself with both light and dark, which is nice against people not like this current event. But yeah, usually people who are resistant to light are weak against dark, and he can imperil and do damage in both those options. So yeah, he just gets more damage and is able to get double and triple cast now, is how I see it.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Going to me and Zero, one of me and Zero's favorites, Lila.
Oh,
Yeah. We know you hate her. Whatever.
she's terrible.
All right,
Terribly
so,
awesome.
Garbage too. Terrible.
Lila, unfortunately, did not get put into another chaining family, which Awesome and I were hoping for. Yeah, we were hoping that maybe they would put her in. But the thing is, she doesn't need it because you can argue that, let's say, Esther, who came out with her own chaining family, works well with herself. And she's intended to work well with herself and, well, Dragoon Kain. All right. But what did they do for her? They increased more of her spirit passives, which is really good, especially since she is, I believe, either one of or the only true double hand spirit user, right? Although there's no true double hand spirit items or weapons, she can take advantage of anything, and she will get you the parameter mission quite easy. You can build her with very minimal stuff, and you can get that parameter mission done, right? She also has her skills in the attack and spirit when equipped with the fist is also really important. So that means she does get spirit passives for fist. So if you do have Rena's fist, it's also going to give you a lot more spirit as well, right?
Or by who's STMR.
Yes, Baihu's SDMR is going to work wonders on it as well, right? For those of you who do have Baihu, who is also
Probably
similar,
nobody.
who's
Yeah,
also similar
probably.
to her, except with chaining them. Her skill Nidan. Now Nidan, it was never an ability that you could double cast or anything like that. It basically unlocks her triple cast. But what it does this time around, it gives her 50% mitigation, right? Which is really, really strong for if you have a threshold that you cross for a boss or something like that, and you just like, or even just have a turn off, because it heals her 100% and unlocks her triple casting for 4 turns, which is really good, right? So really something that's pretty amazing for a unit.
Another thing that's really nice about it is the fact that it allows you to imbue her with an element and do damage on the same turn.
Yes.
As well.
Yes. Yep. The other things she got her 2 main chaining moves upgrade. And by upgraded, she doesn't have a chaining family, but the chaining frames of both of them go up by 2. So from 14 to 16, and I believe from 8 to 10, right? So on her Heaven Shift, which is her spirit scaling attack, right, went from a 10 times modifier to 15 times modifier, which doesn't sound all that great, but her chaining weight changed to make it a backloaded combo, right? Which usually we only think of when you have, something like a dual wield build where the second hand might be stronger than the first, right? So all of her weight on her thing is going on the back part of the combo, which is really good. It's going to increase her damage significantly with another Lila. Secondly, her Tojin combo not only got backloaded hit, which greatly increases the damage, she also it also increases the amount of the times that you can build up to 14 times maximum. Unlike 3 times for 14 times, right? Unlike before where it was 1 time for 5.2 max, right? So it does a pretty decent amount of damage.
Which means you can max it in 1 turn.
Yep. You can get it up immediately. You can do a ton of damage, right? The next thing she got that was pretty different, I would say, from maybe her J card. She also got a passive to her Secret Approach. That's her 120 skill. Not many units get a enhancement on a 120 skill, and it basically just gives her. It basically just gives her more attack and more spirit. She gets up from 60% to 100% spirit. That's double the amount, right? She also gets attack on it, 30%. She gets more spirit when dual wielding as well. So she's so flexible in terms of making her either double hand or dual wielding. You can build her any way that you want. She's very flexible.
So I think her biggest benefit is if you build her attack, she's still going to have high spirit. So she's still going to be very tanky for an attacker when it comes to dealing with magic.
Well.
When it comes to dealing with magic, not physical attacks. And then, yeah, of course, she's going to be tanky if she's doing physical damage. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. But one thing to note with her kit, though, that for TM, which is a Dark Fist, she gets her passives. She gets passives when she equips her TM of giving her true double hand with her fist. So if you don't have her TM, you're going to have to put more true double hand on her. But she does get, the best amount when she has her own TM. Yep.
It's too bad it's stuck on dark.
Yep, too bad that's stuck on dark. But it's still pretty good. Alright. So let's talk about, you want to cover Dragoon Kain?
Okay, sure. I mean, he basically gets more jump damage, which is really nice. But probably his biggest benefit is he does get to match Lila, which people are like, oh yeah, because there's so many Lilas. But his weight also increases just like Lila's does as well. And then there's resistance increases. I mean, he does that with, 3 attacks? Pretty much the same thing happens. So, before it was just the wind that did it? Or was it... wasn't it just one that matched Lila before?
No, he has the three skills, the three of them that match her, right? But the only one that would match, basically the only one that she can take advantage of is really Dark. Because she
That's
doesn't
what it
use
was.
those spells.
Okay,
She
that's
doesn't
what it
use the other
was.
She doesn't use water, she doesn't use,
Air.
wind. Yeah.
Which, I mean, if you wanted to, there's water fists and there's air fists too, so I mean, it's
Yeah,
not
you
terrible.
can build her. Yeah, you can build her that way.
And he does get his jump gets turned into a time jump, so, I mean, not much really to discuss about him. He's better. If you like him, upgrade him, but he's going to be expensive upgrade. The only thing
Yeah,
I can say is thank God they're using green and healing Chris for something.
Yeah, and the thing is, right here, the nice thing about that is that, let's say if you want him for a specific battle, you just upgrade the one that you're gonna use. Like you're gonna use the air, then upgrade the air one.
So
And you
for
can-
me, unless you're using Lila, it's hard to say go for Attorney Dragoon Kain, because I think if you're going for a jumper, RNA is still better than Kain.
Yep.
So unless you're planning on matching with Lila, I wouldn't really bother with Kain unless you do not have Arnea or Sid. I think Sid is still better than Kain as well. I think Arnea and Sid are pretty close. So, and these are really expensive. You're spending millions of gil to awaken these
I
things.
will say that even though it's expensive, it's definitely worth him if you are using this character, because his damaging skills move from 3.5 to 10 times with an increase in the imperils within views as well. So it is a significant.
Let's be honest. Who's using Kain?
If
I
you're
would
a
rather
person who
match
has-
Lila's than match Lila and Kain, but that's me.
Yeah, or if you have a pair of Dragoon Canes, it's not bad either. All right. One thing that is his best and kind of worst upgrade, I believe, is his Ready for Redemption enhancement, right?
10%? What the hell?
That's the horrible part of it. The best part is it gives him double land, so he can be a double hand unit, a proper double hand unit.
I don't think that's worth it. Why would I use double hand
does
for him?
Does he have other dual wielding in his dual wielding?
Yeah, he has
in his
dual
kit?
wield in his kit. Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's
you now can make him a double hand unit if you want to.
So, like, if we look at
Right.
him, I'm pulling him up right now. If I remember correctly, he gets 40% attack with dual wielding,
Yeah, so it goes to 50.
and he gets 50% attack when single wielding. So he's getting what? 60% attack when single wielding? Why?
Yeah, he's terrible passives.
It's not good.
I mean, he does get what?
Oh
50
no,
and 50.
sorry. Yeah, it makes it 50 and 50, which still, why? So bad. Make it 60% if you're gonna do something like this. Make it match up to something that can be considered decent.
Yep, especially when you see what Sephiroth got. This is kind of.
Oh,
sad.
Sephiroth got the most love. Lila could have used a little bit more, but I still like her a lot, so I'm gonna continue to use her. Kain,
Likewise.
I mean, the Lilith skills are good, but everything else, in my opinion, didn't really stack up to any of the other jumpers, and now we're on Rydia.
Okay, so I'll talk about Rydia since I use her and I see what she can do. Rydia didn't get the love I think that she deserved, because she had a lot of magic, very dated magic that needed some kind of modifier boost to it, which she did not get. She got increases to her Eidolon, her evoke skills, and her evoke skills are good. But here's the thing, right? Her black magic skills are more known for their chaining abilities, and her evoke are more known for her bias finishers, right? With the exception of her LB, right? So you can't mix the magic with the evoke. It doesn't work that way. So it's kind of good and kind of bad. So the modifiers for the Eidolon go up, and the Eidolon bomb explosion also gets a plus I believe gives it 25 times, 25
But
times.
by the
evoke
way,
damage.
let me interject here real quick. The biggest problem I see right now is tradition, the increased evoke gauge. Why did
Yeah.
that not go up? Why did the evoke
Yes,
gauge thing not
that
go up?
evoke did
It's
not go
3
up at all.
crystals. That's terrible.
Yes. And also, what's kind of terrible is that it kind of forces you to use her cooldown, which gives her triple cast, and also the cooldown basically is what gives you the buildup of the evocation gauge. So you're kind of forced to use that cooldown. Then you're forced to use tradition if you want to improve those modifiers. Then do something else. They're making you jump through hoops, in my opinion, to get stuff done, which is kind of tough, right? And that's not the worst part of it yet. So, we also, from what we could see, they also increased one of the evoke skills, the water one, for some reason, from a 16 times modifier to a 20 times modifier. And honestly, I think that is bad, and here's why. Because it's a hybrid skill that uses spirit and magic, and for that amount, 16 to 20 is very low.
Leviathan is better. Just use Leviathan.
Yeah, it's
and the fact that it takes 4 crystals now.
Yeah, it takes less, right? So the only good one that's okay, I would say, is Mother's Teachings, which gives you some extra bonus Esper stats and some 10% evoke magic, right?
Well,
But
that's the passive.
yeah, that's a passive that is
it went down by 1.
Yeah, it's decent, but I mean, we could also remember that Rydia does have she can stack her TM if she wants to. All right, to give her even more. All right, so the next thing she.
1 second, real quick. With this evoke magic upgrade, it puts her on the level of Garnet with her update. Why?
Yeah,
this needed to be 20% at minimum. 10% is weak.
10% is very weak. All right. So here's the problematic upgrades. It's her 2 cooldown skills. The first one is fine. It's used quite a lot. It gives her auto revive because she was never like super tanky to begin with. It gives her a lot of evocation gauge build, so you can immediately get it up, and it gives her triple casting for 4 turns, which is good but not great.
So you're calling it Panda's little blue pill.
All right. Yeah, Panda, our other
friend who would join us sometimes.
On the podcast.
He went crazy over Rydia. That's why that's why it's a joke.
Yep. And here's the problem one. The problem one is Burst Storm. Burst Storm is a very strong magic damage skill that went from 16 to 24, which is really good. And it also was added to the Aureole Ray family, which is good. She can only single cast it once every 6 turns, right? So this decreases her water, wind, and earth resistance, imperils the enemy, right, to all enemies, which is really good for her magic chaining skills. So that means she can't effectively use her magic until she does this skill. And this skill is only available on turn 6. So
it only works for 3 turns.
Yes. So unless she has outside help with her, she's not really doing much. Although I will say, with a dupe, her aerial array is going to be really strong, and her LB is going to supplement and be really strong as well. Her LB, as well as this, is going to build back the Esper gauge almost immediately once you have more than one enemy. Alright?
I mean, you remember what I told you before when I said that the things I think she needed is she needed increased modifiers to her standard black magic skills, triple cast, and LB damage. That's what I thought she needed. Yeah. And I don't see any of that here. All I see is weak. The only
She gets triple cast.
She gets triple cast, yeah, that's fine. But
The
what I
only
don't
reason
see
that-
is the modifier increase. So she's not got consistent damage, which means she's either focused doing skills that, in my opinion, are kind of meh. Like
So here's what I understand about this character. The only reason her black magic actually exists is to build up her Esper gauge, right? Because she only gets chaining moves, and this is also aerial array, another chaining move that all it's intended to do is build up her evoke gauge much faster, all right, with a dupe or something, all right, and then so that she can burst down using these skills more, and her limit burst, because it's gonna build up a limit burst gauge as well pretty fast, because it's also cheap. All right, so that's the way she seems like she was designed to really be doing. But she doesn't have any finishing magic finishing skills really, right?
no.
And none that's even worth using.
Well,
Right.
she also has the big issue too, is her best move, which is the aerial ray
Yep.
chaining, is non-elemental as well. Her LB is non-elemental, and neither of those you can add an element to, so you've immediately made her weaker.
Yep. So if you had the ability to, I mean, the water, wind, and earth skill, she does have the water evoke and the earth evoke skill, which as well did not go into a chaining family, which is kind of weird. So she does okay, but she does seem like she has a very wonky rotation, in my opinion.
She got no love. That's how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I think it costs way too much to do what she got. The only one I would maybe do is the passives if you like her. That's how I call it.
I did her passives. That's all.
Alright, well, let's get to the final 5-star of the Awakening banner, Emperor Shera. I know, Kuja, you were looking into it, so what do you think of him?
I think he's alright. I mean, they gave him kind of what he needed is more damage. Because he's, in my opinion, he's more of a support unit that can do damage than a damage dealer. So
I always thought he was a support unit with chaining abilities to help damage. Not really do damage.
Right. Well, that's kind of what I meant.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
now he can do damage. That's what I think he means. He can now do decent damage.
Decent damage. The only issue with him is he's running Divine Ruination, which is an older chaining family, and
Hey,
a lot of the newer units
You
don't.
could work with Xeno. Oh.
Sort of, but you're gonna kill Xeno's damage dealing. That's why you wouldn't use it. But I mean, the things that he needed that he got were increasing like his imbue for fire, increased it to 5 turns. That's really good.
So basically you can keep it up permanently, if you need to be.
Okay, so
Right.
I thought about, like, he's a very similar character in my opinion to Ignacio, because he's also a support with fire. The only difference is Ignacio is a finisher instead of a chainer, right? Because Ignacio also buffs attack and magic. He also buffs attack and magic as well, right? So the big selling point of Emperor Shera is that he can imbue himself along with another friend anytime you wish. You can basically put that on him and another person so they can go to town doing damage together, right? So and he does get significantly more damage from a 2.35 modifier. Sorry, that's like less than 5 with ignore 50 defense to 10, right? Which is significantly more. The only thing is it's not a backloaded chain, it's just a regular attack.
So
Right.
for what I think of this unit right now, looking at it, yes, he's got the Imperil, which is really nice, the Imbue, which is really nice, but we're actually starting to get imbuing units. Like, we just got Bart, we just got Sylvie, and, well, Sylvie's even better. She can imbue 2 different units at the same time with elements. So
Yep.
I think he kind of suffers in that sense. The only benefit he has is that it's fire instead of what Sylvie had, which is lightning and earth and holy.
Well, the thing is, he
Yeah.
doesn't have. I mean, like, if you don't have Sylvie, he's a good option, right?
True.
Like, because
He's
Sylvie is
decent.
Sylvie is
If you
one.
don't have Sylvia or Bart,
Yeah, Sylvia is one unit, right? Bart also is like he has some other chaining families as well. He has Kingsglaive. I don't believe he has the Divine Unit.
No, he does
Right?
not.
So, yeah, so it is an option, and I will say his buff for 150%, and his declaration of war enhancement is really pretty good, and also to be not also that it's not bad is also his it enables a new skill, Zoladad's Emperor's Aegis. That's the name of the skill. It basically allows you to dual cast his other skills in his kit, not just the ones that he previously did. So what this allows him to do is this allows him to use his moves like Entrust, along with something else, along with putting up resistance, along with his kit becomes way more flexible, and this is for 7 turns. Yeah, so he can do quite a bit, right? So that's what I mean. He's honestly, I don't think he's a variation of a unit in my opinion, of Ignacio, but one that you can chain with VR, and he works pretty well in what he does. You know?
So the biggest problem I see with the skills that are in this kit is the good ones are either cooldown or to caster only. So that's the only thing I would point out. I mean, it does last for quite a while, but the better ones are to caster.
I mean, you can give him like something like Myra, who has Entrust as well as put LB fill gauge rate on him in 1 turn. You know, you can do things like that.
Yeah, it just sucks that he can't do it for the team, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and one of his biggest selling skills as well. He is a better option if you want to have somebody who does these dragons, demons, and plant killers, as well as give your team on his LB. His LB gives the entire team some killers as well. So that's why I said, you know, he is that option if you're going against those kind of enemies.
It gives Beast, Bird, and Aquatic by 25% with his TM equipped.
Yep. Along with his own killers, which is Dragon, you know, and some other ones.
Well, he has those killers. He doesn't give it though.
No, sorry. Yeah, I thought it was the same killers, but actually it's different. But
yeah,
it's not bad.
I think the only thing good about his LB, truthfully, is, well, other than the killers, is because it's 25%, which is not huge, but it's nice to have. Is but the mitigation?
You look at how cheap his LB is as well.
Yeah, it's 2 turns, so it has to be cheap. But the 40% mitigation, that's pretty freaking fantastic.
It's amazing. It's amazing. 40% mitigation is basically substituting a character like Zargaboth. So he is very much viable in my opinion.
He is. It's just there's other units that
probably other options. Better. There's other options. So I think it depends on the opponent you're against. He's a good option to use outside of like Zargaboth, outside of Ignacio. He is a good option. So he's more of a side option than saying, you know, he's a replacement for somebody, you know? Yes? No?
He's a good option. I'd say he's worth updating if you plan on using him, just like any other character. They're just really expensive this time around, so it's hard to say go for any of them like drastically. Like at least they're using green and white and stuff, but like they're requiring a lot of crystals in this case.
Oh yeah.
Like I remember Lila, it was about 10 million to get all of her enhancements. And I used like 20 something. I think I used around 18 to 20 power crysts, Gian crysts, which is a whole lot. And there was like 4 pure crysts. It's like that's a whole crap ton of crysts along with the gil. So it's just like, yeah, this is a very expensive awakening.
So
So,
let me ask your opinion, guys. Like, in terms of these 5-star units, could you rate them from 1 to 5, from best to worst?
for the average user, I'd say probably the best is Sephiroth, just because of the fact that he works really well with our current meta, especially with the new units that have come out. I would say for the average user, I would have to say that Emperor Shera is probably second, in my opinion, because he's very versatile and he's got a lot of support capability along with being able to help build up chains. I don't really consider him a damage dealer. I don't really think this one, truthfully, is worth building because I just don't think about him for focusing damage. But mainly because Power Chris. And then I would say Lila would be my third look at. I think she's got a lot of damage and she's very versatile. And the fact that she can take a hit while building damage, it's kind of nice to have those units.
The most self-sufficient unit, in my opinion.
Yeah, the only problem is she needs dupes or Kain, and I don't like Kain. I would say Pure Summoner is probably my fourth, and I would only really do passives, and then Kain I don't. I wouldn't do Kain. Yes, the physical damage modifiers are high, but this is not a good. This is not
his
a good.
His passives make it garbage. Honestly, his passives are lacking a lot.
A lot. He wasn't good to begin with. He needed a lot of work, and they're like, well, he changed Lila.
Yep.
Okay, then I'll get another Lila.
His mons are stronger, but his damage is gonna go down because it's really sucks.
Yeah. It's just not worth it. What do you think, Xer0? What do you think of my recommendations?
I think you're spot on there. I would say Emperor Shera is.
If you're ranking the enhancements,
yes,
you're right.
Yeah,
but it doesn't necessarily mean the units.
No, the enhancements.
Ranked that way.
I'm ranking the enhancements based on this batch right here. If you were looking at them and saying which one is worth it, I have the money and the Chris and these units.
And one thing I will tell you.
And you need the need. I mean, I wouldn't just do that because
enhanced units, one that
you're gonna use,
and that you're gonna use. And because these are so expensive, also be very mindful of the individual ones that you want to upgrade as well. Like Emperor Shera lacks very much in damage, so his damage was probably one. You really should upgrade his damage, right?
If I was looking at Emperor Shera and saying I want something, it's just these two. Those are the two more important ones. The Walk Fire and the Declaration of War. I mean, passives are always nice, but his passives aren't super important because I don't really care about his damage in one thing.
It makes him more survivable.
It does make him more survivable, which is nice to have, but it's not a huge enough upgrade where I'm like, I need it.
Yep.
But this makes him very supporty, the Declaration of War and the Walks of Fire. Sephiroth, you pretty much want everything, which is why it's going to hurt really hard when you do it. The only one you could probably avoid is Reunion. I don't like Reunion. I think Reunion's kind of garbage. I wouldn't do it at all, even if I had the money for it, because I don't want to put Dark Element on my character mostly. The LB crystals are nice, but I don't ever use his LB because I don't think it's that good anymore. It's very lackluster compared to what we have available now.
Oh, I believe his Heaven's Rep also got a backloaded chain.
Yes, it does.
Yes. So that's actually
the biggest problem with Heaven's Web, though, that would make me not really care too much, other than the fact that it's Divine Ruination. If you do have Divine Ruination, it's worth it. It's not a huge enough boost for... well, it costs white crysts, so who cares about the crysts?
The biggest problem I see with him is that he can get triple cast either on his counter move, which is not a big enough percentage of him, and on also if he's using technique. I'm sorry, the
Tragic End.
Yes, which is 5
Turn cooldown.
turn.
Yeah.
Yep. So you have to wait till access, not do, but access is triple cast. Or 3 other turns.
So the one thing I do have a question about on Sephiroth though is, why did they cross out this increased attack 30%?
I don't know. I believe they took it out, which is weird.
Does he lose that when he gets this up? I don't know.
think so.
Well, he needs
I
it
don't know.
anyways because that's double cast, and that would be that's extremely important for him because he's just not a good dual wielder, and he was a terrible double hander until he got double cast, and this gives him double cast.
The reason why he was good is because he was flexible. You have a lot of single-handed equipment that you could put something in his other hand, but now he can do true double hand. So he
Again,
gets more power, but you would suffer from not being, the element being.
Again, his kit was built to be double hand from the get-go, and they just didn't give him dual cast. So he's always kind of suffering from that. And he never had really anything to boost his dual wield. I mean, they do now. Like, look, right here. Increase attack when dual wielding, but now we're going to go to double hand because he's got double hand. Which is better.
So here's the weird thing. The weird thing is that the best katana for him would be Axar's katana. And if you already have Axar's STMR, why
You're
not
probably
use
using
Axar?
Yeah, no, he suffers from that. He can't have true dual wield. It's just not going to work out for him.
Yeah. So,
But
should we talk about
the disappointment that I was expecting, the summon crystals or summon coins.
Yeah,
I
you can
think they're
find
fine.
you can find the news update on the page, on the main page.
They're so expensive. Why are they so damn expensive?
It's there. It's there if you summon it. It's like
The summon coins are unique to each banner that they make, because the summon coins are going to be for specific banners, and they're going to also be variable in cost and the value that they present. So it's honestly the first 2 that we have been presented with showed very different things that you can acquire that are of very different value. All right.
Okay, so the one thing real quick. When we do a summon that gets us summon coins, it's using lapis. How much coin do we get per summon? It's only on the step up, right?
right.
It can only be used, I believe, on step ups, and the first banner that we're getting, which is already out, you will get 10 coins per step, right? However, the rewards are adjusted for those steps, whereas the following banner, which is next week, each step will only give you 2 coins. So you have to reach to the end, which gives you 10 coins, and that will allow you to purchase one unit from one time limited unit. Or I should say, not time limited, but yeah, it's a time limited unit, even though some are permanent, some are, right?
It's a global exclusive. That's just what I'd call it.
Yeah, so that's what I mean about it being very, very variable, different in value. This banner is going to be so much different from the other banner when it comes to summon coins, and they cannot be transferred. So summon coins from this one will not work for the other one.
So I will tell you right here what my biggest issue with is. Guess how much it takes to get anything good from the exchange shop. So let's look at the exchange shop. A 4-star ticket is 20 coins. That is 2 steps.
Yep.
That's 1,000 lapis for a 4-star.
You want to see how ridiculous? Try to figure out how much would you have to go if you want 1 UOC. Ticket.
It's 2 full laps and an extra step.
How much lapis would you actually use to get 1/10 of a unit, which is a UOC? A UOC is 1/10 of
55,000 lapis.
Yep.
Again, it's an extra.
Again, it's a whale item. That's all it's going to end up being. Most people aren't going to do two full step ups plus. I mean, in my opinion, what it should have been a full lap and a step, just like how they did the regular 5-star tickets. These 20% 5-star tickets.
I mean, I guess, okay, so the way I look at this is either this is targeted to people who are already whaled, which it already seems like, which actually don't probably need this stuff, or if you're making it as an incentive for people who want to pull more.
I don't think it is. I think it's just there as an extra for something. Just another way they add extra stuff that we can get from something. It's not really an incentive.
It's not an incentive. That's why I'm disappointed in it.
It's just there.
Well, the following ban, it is considered, I would say it's considered an incentive because you would be getting a unit at the end that you could choose time limit, a global exclusive time limited unit that you can choose, right?
Yeah,
so,
but those units are pretty old, so I don't really feel that is much of an incentive either.
Yeah, the units themselves have decreased in value quite a bit. So,
like I said, the only ones that kept their value in those banners are the tanks. Demon Rain's still great, but you have to enhance him. Lilith is still great.
The supports are alright.
Okay. I don't really think they're that great.
It's really just the tanks. It's really Chow.
So the
problem.
Chow, White Knight Noel, Demon Rain, and Lilith are the only ones I think are worth anything on the banner.
Now, I will say that there is value hidden in units that have not been enhanced. That is Tiana, Felix, and Lucius. Because they potentially can be good later on. Okay?
Yeah, but am I going to spend 20k Lapis for a maybe later on?
Well, the thing is, right? If you have you basically have the 20k and you want some of these units that you may have not had, or you're going for STMRs, and you get it along the way, then it's fine. It's just something that you can think, oh, well, maybe I can hold on to this.
Real quick, is it going to be any 5-star going to be on banner during that poll?
We don't know. We believe
that they probably are. It's going to be every 5-star.
Yeah. No, it's going to be
stupid.
They
didn't say anything.
It's going to be stupid if they don't, but
because there's like what, 10 units there, or 12 units, something like that.
Yeah. It's stupid if they don't.
If off banner are allowed, then you're basically not going to get one.
It's absolutely terrible.
Oh, you've got like a 0 chance to get what you want.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you're going for those units, you pretty much got like what 0.05% chance of pulling one.
If off banner is allowed, this banner is absolutely not worth any of it at all. It's absolute garbage, in my opinion.
Yeah, should have pulled last week if there is how I would feel about it if you really wanted a 5-star that bad.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you mean on
the spring bundle.
Yeah.
Which is still very good value.
Yeah. Well, because it gives you all that extra crap.
Yeah, it's all that crap and 5 stars. Yeah, and a 5-star. The only problem is it's a 5-star EX ticket.
Yep.
But
I mean, we're not all as fortunate to pull 5-star base units.
That happened once.
And
it only needs to happen once.
I had gone like 150 pulls without getting a rainbow, so yeah.
Okay, that's nothing new.
So it basically evened out.
I'm sorry, but that's nothing new. I get that all the time. I get garbage rates a lot. There was like 3 months where the only rainbows I got were the ones that were guaranteed.
Okay, so here's the question. What can we look forward to next? Right? In other words, we have what can we look forward to next? We have the anniversary coming up.
Yep.
That I think it's going to be pretty big.
But it's not June, it's July when the anniversary is. I've seen so many people say that, oh, next month. No.
July. 2 months.
It's July. the anniversary
that.
is like June 30th. That's not June 1st. That's basically
It's the
July.
end of June, yeah. The
So
end
it's
of
basically the anniversary will be through July, like it was last year.
Now, just basic, to give a reference of what happened in JP. JP gave a lot of.
It was based on
tickets,
your rank.
Yeah, it was based on how long you have played the game as well, how many days it's been. You got a ton of EX tickets, all very random. You could get 5-star EX tickets, 4-star EX tickets. You could get
Well, you
and
got
also
tickets to pull tickets, pretty much.
More tickets. Yeah, you got tickets to pull for tickets. That's what it was.
and you also got I believe the Mughal Bear was a unit that you could get easily.
It
as
was the
well as-
rain, Vagrant Rain. You could get,
Yeah.
which
Even though
never,
he
Vagrant Rain,
which
the
never got a
Mughal-
7-star variant. So screw you, Alim.
That
Yeah.
doesn't really matter.
I got 40 of him in JP.
Yeah, you can make his TM very easily. That's
His
what-
team was bad.
Yep. Yep. That's what it's for.
But I mean, again, what was in the pool was the EX tickets. There was UOC tickets in there. There was
You know,
Crystals.
You know what?
Containers.
What was
Containers.
Yeah.
Moogle containers.
Moogle
I got
containers.
one of those. I still want a Moogle container. I need
You
one
know
for
what would be really
Rico's.
funny? What would be really funny is if we get a 7-star version of Wandering Rain, and he gets enhanced to be really good. that would
won't
be.
happen.
that would
Free
be-
won't happen.
Yeah,
And the
actually,
reason
that
why they won't do it is because if they're gonna give them away like that, it would be an easy STMR. So the STMR would probably be really bad.
yeah.
I mean, they could just
Unless
make
they
it
do-
like, what's her face?
Free?
No, the singer, blank on her name.
Katy
Katy Perry. Yeah.
You mean
Make
it being total shit?
Yeah.
Like I just said.
Uh-huh. I was agreeing with you.
Listen, she is nice. She is
No. I
amazing.
said her STM was total garbage.
Yeah, her STMR is garbage. It's worse than a
TMR.
TMR from a raid or something. It's really bad.
But yeah,
Uh,
we have
Mhm.
Regina coming up for story, which I'm excited for. We have, of course, Final Fantasy VII, which we skipped this time, and people are like salty. I don't know why, because I mean this is a good banner too. It's just that we have.
yep, and I would
They've
definitely
always
say-
done that. I don't know why people are so surprised that like every single time FF7's been skipped at least once.
Yeah,
Now, I would
Every
say
time they've come out, they've been skipped.
now
And
I would
it just
say,
makes sense because the FF7 units are more powerful than these ones.
and also usually when they get skipped, they usually either get something that's unique or different. So expect
Yeah,
maybe
buffs.
global upgrades or something.
well, except for
them.
Tifa,
Well,
Tifa got global upgrades too, but they didn't make
they
it
weren't good.
yeah. So
I mean,
we,
I don't think Aerith will get global upgrades. But
No,
I
she
think
won't.
would. I think Aerith might actually be able.
I don't think she will because she was a very, very strong healer.
Yeah, she was very strong in JP.
She was the new strongest healer for a while, and the only one that might get an upgrade is Red, because the only thing good about him was his TMR or STMR. And-
Yeah.
They're both very good.
And I'm sorry, but the STMR from the Fabio brothers are better. And yes, I know I said that wrong.
Yeah.
I just like to call them the Fabio brothers because they're both blonde and one's a lady killer. So yeah, whatever. Sue me. Anyways, I think we should wrap it up. This banner, pull for mocking units, and then just kind of, I would stop.
Yep.
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 you-
And
if you-
Savior Lapis.
So much.
If you need a
Savior
breaker,
Lapis, FF7.
I would UFC one.
Yep.
It's
Yeah, it's one of the most useful units you could get.
So
yeah.
save your lapis for some whatever else that's coming up, and
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, save your lapis for anniversary because you
what
never know
what's the next raid we're gonna get? I can't think of the next raid right now.
Octopath probably.
Well, we have Octopath, we have Rico, we have.
oh yes,
FF7.
Octopath is coming out on Switch in
I hope
June?
Explore Eileen, but probably not because Gumi hates me.
Explorer Eileen. Oh,
They don't technically need to have a raid event for Explorer Eileen.
True, but in reality, they should have brought her up with Euroshia, but they said, "Screw you guys, we're not gonna do that."
Well, they didn't do anything with Euroshia. That was just a banner.
I know.
Lara Croft 7-star, dude.
What? Yeah, she was bad. Well, not really, but yeah, at the same time.
Not really, but yeah, she definitely was bad.
Well, for a free unit, she wasn't bad. It's
She
kind
trains with Pile Driver.
giggity. Anyways, let's wrap this boy up. Again, these units aren't really worth pulling for. We have the next banner coming out. It's going to be the limited banners. I still wouldn't pull on that banner.
Nah.
If you really want to, you can. I'm not going to say don't do what you want, because whatever, you do what you want. Sorry. Join us on Discord. It's down below. Any other fun things you guys want to leave off with?
No, just saying thank you for joining us.
All right. Have a good evening.
Great night.
Good night.